Alright guys, so back here with the drag slash. I'm going to be working on it here a little bit. Just kind of want to give you guys a little bit of my process and kind of what I go through when setting up one of these MPRC cars. I know the slash it's old, it's kind of outdated, but still a great starter car, and it should be a lot of fun. But one of the first things I want to tackle is I have parts in the mail, but I want to tackle just the basic setup, the kind of the things I go through when I get a new car, and just kind of share them and give you guys some insight onto what I've learned so far. I mean, I'm still pretty new to this. I've only been doing it for about 2 months. Started with that DR10 and it's built into what it is now, and it runs pretty good. So my hopes are high for being able to kind of dial the slash in and see where we can go from here. So the first thing we're going to tackle is weight loss. So these tires, very pretty looking. I love the wheels. I'll probably acetone those off so I can reuse them. These tires, I mean, they don't feel awful. Like if you're just getting into it, like I think these would work. If you give them a good scuff, did a good burnout to get them hot, I think they'd work. But they are very wide. For example, where's one of my tires laying around? Well, just a random low-C stock I have laying around, just a Mickey Thompson, which is actually supposed to be the same tire as this. And you can kind of see what I'm talking about. They're substantially wider, and this is fairly standard sized tire. This is just the closest one to reach, but they are very large. So we're going to get rid of these, get rid of some rotating mass. We're going to ditch these front wheels for another set that I have, a little bit narrower, less rotating mass. And we're also going to ditch this receiver box, as well as these side guards. We're just trying to drop as much weight as possible, as well as I'm going to ditch the motor cover, give it a gearing change, and we'll probably pull these shocks off and change the fluid out because they feel a little too light for my liking. So yeah, we'll get started into that and see what else we find to pull off of here. So we got her stripped down for now. It's probably as far as I'm gonna go. We got a decent amount of weight out of her. Whole box, motor cover, these guys. The main thing though is the bolts. All those bolts you pull out, those add up. They're all steel. So we've got her stripped down probably as far as I'm gonna go for today before the initial run. There's still a lot more you could do. I mean, I'll probably end up dremeling some of this stuff out. I'll probably dremel slots here and here, because I'm a big fan of using strapping tape on my batteries. Plus it'll eliminate the need for this, as well as the post up front and the little block in the back. All about weight savings when it comes to the stock class. And it's all within our local rules. Our box stock pretty much, I mean, everything's always changing, but as of right now, it's stock chassis, stock wheelie bar. I'm gonna do the first test hits tomorrow on the VXL. I'm still gonna change out that pinion because the gear ratio I'm going for, I'm actually gonna be stepping down from the 22 that's in there to a 21. I'm just kind of shooting in the dark right now, for now, because this will not be staying long. I have some upgrades for the slipper that replaces the slipper coming in. So yeah, we're just gonna change the pinion out and get those shocks done. I've also got some springs we may test depending on how these feel. They seem to actually not be too soft, so we may use those. But yeah, so back to it. One thing I wanted to comment on as I was putting on the 21 tooth and removing the stock 22 tooth, don't mind those parts, those are actually just something different. Check your gear mesh, because the gear mesh was extremely tight with that 22. That's about perfect on the 21, and I didn't loosen the motor screws at all. So just when you get these drag slashes out of the box, make sure to check that mesh, because honestly that probably would have ended up in a dead gear on a good hit. So before we get to the shocks, I wanted to throw on these Proline front runners I have. They're a much narrower tire, and they're actually a little bit shorter. These MTs are extremely tall, because these are actually taller than most of my regular ones. These are much taller than the buggy wheels I run, but we are going to throw these on for less rotating mass, less resistance, due to the narrower, smaller stance. Alrighty guys, so we've officially finished up everything we're doing before the first run. Got a little bit of weight stripped out of it by removing the bars, the box, motor cover, did a gear change, got the wheels changed out. These are just a set of smoked reaction blue dots that I have laying around. As you can see, blew those suckers apart on the 10M a couple weeks ago, but they're a good placeholder. I have all my other tires bagged up. One thing you will notice is the shocks. I pulled all the preload spacers out. When it sits under its own weight, it's all right. I do that just because I don't like to have any preload the first time I run a car, so I can kind of add it and adjust it from just bare bones. So there will be getting some space just thrown in there, I'm sure, tomorrow after the first couple hits, probably the first hit. We have the ProTech high voltage 2S 6100 120C. Our rule set does allow for only a regular lipo, but I just charged this on regular 7.4 volts and it's legal for our rule set. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, get the body slapped on, get a few little beauty shots of it, and next video will be on it running. So guys, here's kind of the finished product. She sits a little bit lower up front because I did end up moving those lower shock positions out. I meant to do that before. But yeah, here's her on kind of how she'll look in race form. These front wheels are staying. Those rear wheels will be swapped. Well, same wheels, just on an orange dot reaction instead of a blue. But yeah, guys, I'm very happy with how the truck kind of feels right now. I would like to see a little more, a little higher spring rate in the rear probably. Also may try a different shock fluid, but as a start out, this is what we're gonna run tomorrow. So when you see that running footage here in the next day or so, this will be the setup. I'll probably go back over it again tomorrow, get some races with a couple of my buddies, and we'll see how it goes. Well guys, thanks again for watching RC Evolution 100. I'll see you later.